In this video, we're going to convert our post reactions table into generic reactions table and implement polymorphic relations from posts and from comments into reactions table. After this, we're going to implement like and unlike functionality on the comments. And that's going to be done in a generic way as well, so that you can in the future easily add set or love or different types of reactions on comments. Now let's comment everything what we changed so far. Implement updating and deleting of comments. Click submit, click commit. Just for curiosity, I want to know how many commits we have in the Git. Can I see this? Not sure. I don't see the number of commits. If I just select everything and open new Scratch file, text file, it is 29. Yeah, we have 29 lines. Obviously, we have 29 comments. Not bad. Okay, so now I'm going to implement reactions on the comments. So in the same way we have implemented a like and unlike of the posts, I'm going to do this like and unlike of the comments. Let's go in the post item. I'm thinking maybe it's a time to move these comments into its own component, but I think it doesn't change picture that much. It is only like 30 lines of code. Okay, so far I'm going to still leave it here. So this is the text. We have this read more, read less. Okay, and where I'm going to put this, I'm going to put probably here. Let me create one div that's going to be for the comment. That's going to be the wrapper for the like, and in the future we might also add reply to this comment. Okay, and that's going to be container for both. I'm going to put a button here. We're going to have this like text, and I'm thinking we need this icon, the thumbs up icon. Okay, so I'm going to search for hand thumb up icon. Okay, this is what I want. So I need to put this here. Let's give it width 4, h4, and margin right 2. Like, let's write lowercase, all lowercase. Okay, let's give it flex and items center. Then we have this editable area. So whenever we start editing, we have it here. Okay, and then we have this actual comment, and then I have this buttons area. And I see that the buttons is on the left side, which I need to fix. However, to fix that, I need to give it margin left 12. Now I see that this margin left 12 is repeated here. I'm going to repeat, I have it here, and I'm going to repeat right here as well. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do. I'm going to delete everywhere I have this margin left 12. Now this is how it looks like. And by the way, this is the, what is this? This is the avatar section. Okay, cool. I'm going to put everything in its own div, and I'm going to give this div margin left 12. Not margin left. I should give it padding left 12. I format the code, and this is how it looks like. We see this like here. I'm going to give this margin right 1. I'm going to reduce it width and height I'm going to provide here, this is a button, let's give it text XS. Okay, and let's give it also text Indigo 500. Not bad. Let's give this div margin top 1, slight margin. Okay, cool. Let's put here second button, that's going to be reply. Just to reply the comment. And I'm going to give it flex and gap2. Obviously the icon needs to be different. So from the hero icons, I'm going to search for reply. I don't know if there's something like this. Let's search for arrow. It should be some sort of arrow. Let's see. Which one is close to reply? Let's search for reply icon. We go in the, sorry, that should be reply icon. Yeah, this is the reply icon, but there is nothing like this. I don't see it. What if I use comment? So far I'm using the comments, multiple comments, this one, but let's use this one, which is called chat bubble left ellipsis. Let's move up. We have, by the way, a lot of components which is not used anymore, like the menu components, so we can remove these, and this as well. Chat bubble left right icon. We need chat bubble left ellipsis. Chat bubble left ellipsis icon. Okay, and I'm gonna use this icon here. Let's expand the comment section and we see like and reply. Well, this is not bad actually. Whenever I hit like, I need some sort of hover effect. So let's give it padding 1. And on hover, I'm going to give it BG Indigo 100. I'm going to give it also rounded LG. Padding Y to be 0.5 and padding X to be 1. This is it. This is cool. And for the reply, let's do the same thing. Okay, whenever I hit the like, I'm going to make the reaction request. Again, like at the moment we have only like and unlike, but in the future you can easily add other type of reactions to either posts or comments. Let's search for the place. We have the send reaction. We're executing this post reaction. We want something very similar, so I'm going to copy that function. And let's scroll down below and I'm gonna paste it here. Send comment reaction. That's going to be comment reaction. Reaction is going to be like by default. This is what we are going to do. And from the server side, we're going to get back the, okay, how many likes the comment has. We want that information, right? We do want. Okay, let me think. If we go in the post reactions, we have this post ID, type, user ID. Okay. Now I see the issue. Okay, we don't have comment reactions table created yet. I see the problem, which is something probably I missed, but we don't have the place where we are going to save the reactions of the comments. And I'm thinking there are two solutions here. Either we're going to create comment reactions in the same way we have post reactions, or we can make this post reactions table a more generic table, change this post ID into object ID, and we're going to have the table name as well. And we're going to make this generic table, which will be used for comments as well as the posts. Well, I'm thinking which one is going to be the best. I think the best will be, and we're going to learn more if we do it in a different way. Like we have already implemented saving reactions for the post reactions. Now we are going to change that. What am I doing? We are going to change that and make this like a, it's called polymorphic or morph relations. It's called morph relations as far as I remember in Laravel. So let's have a look how these morph relations are working. Let's go in the Laravel docs. I need to remember this. Morph. Here we go. This is exactly, a comment is a perfect example of this morph relations. What are we doing? Okay. Let's see, what's the table structure looking like? Dynamic relationships. So this is exactly, now we have this get morph class. Let's move up. Defining relationships, many-to-many relationships, polymorphic relationships. This is it. Okay, and the comment is a perfect example. The comment can belong to a post and the video as well. We have one-to-many, one-to-one, and one-to-many as well. We have posts, we have users, we have images, and we have imageable ID and imageable type. Imageable ID and imageable type columns on the images table. The imageable ID column will contain the ID value of the post or user, while the imageable type column will contain the class name of the parent model. The imageable type column is used by Eloquent to determine which type of parent model to return when accessing the imageable relation. In this case, the column would contain either app models post or app models user. And this is our structure. So this is the image structure. We have this imageable, okay, which either is going to be user or post. And we have this post as well. We have to modify our post reactions table. And we are gonna change these post IDs to be object ID, and we need the object type as well. So let's open the artisan, and I'm going to create migration for this. We're going to break a couple of things right now. Okay, so we are going to definitely break loading comments. This is the main thing what we're going to break, and we're going to break this on the comments, on the posts as well. But later we're going to fix and make it universal for the comments as well. Sorry, hold on. What am I doing? We are going to break not the comments, but we are going to break the like unlike on the posts, and then we're going to fix it and implement it for the comments as well. Okay, let's create the migration. PHP artisan make migration change post reactions. Change post reactions. Actually, even the table name is actually specific to post, so we should probably change this into just reactions. Change post reactions table. Let's open change post reactions table, and we need blueprint schema, or how we're doing it. The copy paste is actually something which helps you a lot, but you keep forgetting very often. Schema table, we need schema table. We're going to have post reactions here, but the advantage of copy paste is that if you know what to copy, from which project to copy, then you're an excellent developer, in my opinion. So we're gonna change the post reactions table. We're gonna get blueprint table here, blueprint table, and first I think I should rename the table. Rename, I'm going to call this just reactions. Okay, I also need to find now post reactions or post reaction model, and let me search for all the possible places, all the places where this post reaction is used. That is used in about 11 places. Okay, what I will just do is just rename this class using PHP Storm, and it's going to rename it everywhere. Or if you don't use PHP Storm, you can just find, let's search this with the exact word and uppercase, lowercase. So we have the 6 matches. Okay, if I remove this uppercase, lowercase, then it finds this function as well. But we need this uppercase, lowercase. It's going to find all the models. Okay, we have the 6 cases, and you just need to rename it, all of them, into reaction. So in this case, what I'm going to do is just right click and refactor, rename, and I'm going to call this reaction. Hit the enter. It finds all the usages and asks me if I want to rename it. I'm going to click OK. And now if I search for post reaction, it is not used anymore because anywhere. It was replaced into reaction everywhere. Okay, let's check the database. We renamed the table into post reactions. Let's write down as well. Table reactions, we're going to rename it into post reactions. Okay, next I am going to drop foreign. I'm going to drop foreign ID, and that's going to be the post ID. So inside the keys, foreign keys, we have this post ID which references to post. So I'm going to drop foreign or drop foreign ID 4, and I'm going to provide the model. I don't want to provide the model. I need to provide drop foreign. What does this do? It accepts an index. Okay, how we edit that foreign ID, create post reactions that was foreign ID, drop foreign ID, drop constrained foreign ID. This is what I want. Drop constrained foreign ID, exactly, because we added foreign ID constrained by users and by posts. Now I'm going to drop constrained foreign ID that's going to be on column post ID. So I'm just dropping it, and then I need to rename column from post ID into object ID. Okay, this rename column accepts from and to, so we just provide it properly. And I also want to add new column, which is going to be string. That's going to be object type, and I'm going to make it after object ID. Let's take care of this down as well. We need to add foreign ID. So we need this. First of all, we need to rename the code. We're going to do the operations like backwards. So first we're going to drop this object type column. So table drop column object type. Then we are going to rename column. That's going to be object ID to be post ID. Then I'm going to add this constraint, and then I'm going to rename my table. Okay, let's have a look again. I'm just taking the post reactions, I'm just renaming the table, dropping the post ID, renaming post ID into object ID, and I'm just adding string column object type to be after object ID. I think we need to execute this migration. So let's bring up the terminal, PHP artisan migrate. We have some error. I expected something. Column not found, unknown column object ID in post reactions. Okay, where is the object ID? Alter table, post reactions, add object type, not null, after object ID. Okay, this here it is, rename column from and to. What is the current status of this? I think I know the reason. Let's reload this. Okay. Table was not renamed. First of all, let's start with that. Table was not renamed. So first, let's try to rename the table. So I'm not going to do anything else other than renaming the table. Now let's have a look if the table was renamed. It was renamed. Okay, cool. The first step is done. Let me actually change its name back to into post reactions. Awesome. Then it's interesting. So here we called schema table post reactions, but I think since we renamed the table, we need to call this schema table on reactions. Now we're going to work on the reactions table. We're going to have function blueprint table. Then we're going to drop constraint foreign ID, which is right here. and then we are going to rename the column and add new column. Okay, let's execute this. The migration, by the way, was marked in the database to be executed. Change post reactions table. So I'm going to remove this. And now let's execute PHP artisan migrate. We have some error. Okay, change post reactions table, unknown column object ID in reactions. Alter table reactions add object type after object ID. I'm actually surprised this rename column. It seems to be that this does not work. Let me comment out this line and see what happened in the database. It was renamed into reactions, but the foreign ID was not dropped, and also the column was not renamed. Okay, I'm gonna ask now ChatGPT. I want to write a migration to rename a column in Laravel. It's gonna respond. Meanwhile, I'm gonna just change its name back into post reactions. Let's see. Old name, new name. Okay, I have another question to ChatGPT. I'm gonna copy this code and I'm gonna ask, I have foreign ID added on my table with the following code. How to delete that foreign ID, foreign key. How I'm gonna drop the foreign key. Drop foreign, and I'm gonna just provide the column. Okay, let's try this. Drop foreign, and let's just provide post ID. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I have not done like this, but we're gonna try. PHP artisan migrate. We have some error. Okay, this is the issue. Cannot drop reactions post ID foreign because the name was actually different. Okay, the foreign ID actually is post reactions post ID foreign. However, we have been trying reactions post ID foreign. I see that. That makes sense. So basically, let's do like this. I'm gonna drop first the foreign ID, then I'm gonna rename the table, then, or we can do it vice versa as well. So I'm gonna drop the post ID, I'm gonna rename my column, I'm gonna add one more column, and then I'm gonna rename the table. So I don't need this. And right here, first I'm gonna rename my table back, then I'm gonna drop the column, then I'm gonna rename, and then I'm gonna add the constraint foreign ID. So let me save this. This is called reactions. I'm gonna rename this called post reactions. Let's bring up the terminal and I'm gonna execute PHP artisan migrate. We have another error. We're gonna see unknown column object ID in post reactions. Alter table, post reactions, add object type, not null after object ID. This rename column doesn't seem to be working. Is the foreign key dropped? That's also interesting to see. No, it was not dropped. Thus, the rename column didn't work. Let's just provide the name. This is the index name. Post reactions post ID foreign. I think the table was renamed. No, it wasn't renamed. Let's have a look. PHP artisan migrate. It doesn't seem to be working. Okay, I need to find this out. Laravel drop Laravel migration drop foreign key. Okay, drop foreign. So this should be doing it, right? So if I just undo my code, drop foreign on post ID, that should work. Let me comment out everything else. So if I execute PHP artisan migrate here, that now worked. Look at this. So now I'm going to add this foreign ID. So I will execute PHP artisan migrate rollback minus step equals 1, something like this. Post reactions. Okay, I see. We're trying to create post ID which is already there. So let me actually try second part, which is rename the column. Let's go in the migrations, and I'm going to remove these post reactions table from here. We are renaming the column. And I'm going to execute migrate. Let's see, post reactions. Okay, post ID was renamed into object ID. Now I will execute this to add new column. PHP artisan migrate. Yeah, the migration is already in the database. So I'm going to delete this, then execute migrate, and object type should be added. We see that. And the last thing is to rename to reactions. Again, we are going to remove the migration from the migrations table, and I'm going to execute, hold on, I'm going to comment this part and execute just to rename the table, which also worked. Now to do a reverse operation, we're going to do first rename into post reactions. Reactions needs to be renamed into post reactions. Migrate rollback. Okay, that was rolled back. Now let's drop the column object type. I'm going to do this manually. Or hold on. I cannot do the rollback again because that was removed from the migrations. So what I should do probably is just to add that file inside migrations manually. Like this, page 3. Then I'm going to drop my column. Actually, let me drop this manually still, post reactions. We have object type. I'm going to do a delete. And if you are not using the same database client, you can drop a column with any database client, or you can drop column from migration. Let me actually do this through migration to make this easier for you to follow. Rollback. Okay, now it's called post reactions. So we're going to do post reactions drop column. Okay, the column was dropped. Then we are going to do rename column from object ID into post ID. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, basically get the file name, open migrations, mark this migration to be executed with batch 3. Okay, and then we're going to execute this rename column. However, I'm going to do this now manually, and I'm going to rename this into post ID. And this is the last part which is not correct. So instead of foreign ID constraint, we are going to do add foreign key, because this will try to add post ID, but the post ID is already there. So we're going to just add the foreign key. Okay, how to add foreign key without column. Okay, this is how we're going to do it. Let's put this here. We're going to add post ID, references to ID from the post. So I'm going to delete this. Object ID is already renamed into post ID, so we can comment this part, and we need to execute this migrate rollback, which worked successfully. So the foreign key was added here. Now I'm going to uncomment everything from this table and execute the migrate up, because it should work. We tested and it should work. PHP artisan migrate. What is going on? Unknown column object ID in post reactions, and that happens right here. Okay, I'm going to remove this after. There is no other choice. Or maybe the choice is basically to, well, why is it doing like this? Okay, probably the Laravel is remembering those changes and applying them later. If I just duplicate this part and split it like this. So first we're going to drop the foreign ID, rename the column, and then add the object type after the object ID, and then rename reactions. Let's see if something was changed. Nothing was changed here. So let's apply the migration. That seemed to work. What happened? Reactions created. Here we see object ID, object type. And the foreign ID was dropped as well. Okay, this is cool. Let's execute rollback. But let's uncomment So we rename it, we drop the column, we rename the column, and we add the foreign ID. This will probably be failed. Will probably. I was right. Base table or view not found post reactions. That should be called reactions, by the way. Let's execute this. It was still failed. Alter table reactions drop object type. Base table or view not found. Alter table reactions drop object type. This is the thing. So once we rename that table, we need different schema table with post reactions and with the following content inside. I think right now that the table was renamed into post reactions, which I'm going to undo, and I am going to apply the migrate rollback again, in which case it worked. And now we're going to see that we have post reactions, we have ID, post ID, type, everything basically, and we have these two foreign keys. Now let me apply migrate, which also worked successfully, and we see reactions, object ID type, and the foreign key was dropped, and again migrate rollback. So we have that migrate up and migrate down tested successfully. Now let's apply migrate again because we want it to be renamed finally. Okay, now since we have this generic table, these reactions, now it's time to have a look on the front end. And as I mentioned, we have broken this like unlike counts, or we even have multiple errors which we're gonna fix. The first error is that unknown column reactions post ID, which is coming from the relation from here. So we're gonna define this polymorphic relation. In this case, the relation is defined from post to image, but we are going to define this from post to, we can call this comments. However, we're going to do morph many. No, not comments. It should be on reactions. Morph many. We're going to provide the reaction, and we're going to provide the, I think, the name, and that name is, what is this name, second name? Let's search for has many, not has many, but morph many. Commentable. Okay, commentable. Aha, so this is the reverse relation. So from the post we have comments, and from the comment we have commentable, which is going to be post in this case. So from the reactions we're going to have this commentable needs to be generic name. Maybe we can call this object, because also probably that should be the name, the prefix name in the database, because here, let's reload, not attachments, but reactions. If we check the reactions, we have now object ID and object type. So if we search for imageable, there was something like imageable. There was imageable ID or something like this. Where was that? Here we go. We have this imageable ID and imageable type. And when we define from image, we define this imageable, which is also necessary. So we need to go in the reaction and we need to define this. That should be object. Morph to, this is something we need to import. Get the parent object model. In this case, it's going to be post or comment. Then from the post, we did this in the reaction. From the post itself, we define reaction. This needs to be changed and return morph many. Let's replace this with the import. So we have this morph many in the import section. Reactions. And that should work in my opinion, but we're gonna check. Reload the home page. We don't see the error, which is good. However, if we check the reactions, I see. We don't have object types at all. And this is something we need to provide. So let me, either we need to provide this by hand or put this in the migration. So I'm going to do this in the migration. So I'm going to roll back it, which means that the table was renamed again into post reactions. And inside the migration, once the content, the structure was prepared, I'm going to do an update. Okay. And let's check the migrations. I want to update without eloquent model, or maybe let me ask ChatGPT how to write update without eloquent model in Laravel. Generally, using models in the migrations is not good practice. That's why I don't want to use it, and I just want to write regular update. So DB table is probably the best thing what we need to do. So let me copy this part, DB table. So let's import this DB table that's going to be reactions. So because it's already called reactions, I'm going to search for basically every record. I need to remove this where, and I'm going to update object type. Object type needs to be called app models post. This is how we're going to do it. And let me execute PHP artisan migrate here. And if we check right now reactions, we see that it is app models post. I'm going to check in the Laravel's documentation regarding these polymorphic relationships. What is going to be app models post? App models post. I don't know if this backslash in front of it was necessary, but let's test that. So I will reload the home page, and we don't see existing like and dislike. However, this post had like previously. If I open home controller, we see with count reactions. In the post resource, we get reactions count. num of reactions. Something is not correct. Let me rename this object type and remove this backslash here, and I'm going to do this everywhere. Let's reload the page. Well, it actually works. So it looks like that backslash was extra. So what we need to do is execute migrate rollback again, then open the migration file and just remove this backslash during update. And in the down, we're just dropping the object type column, so that content will be gone, which is okay. Let's apply migrate and reload the page, and we see we still have these likes. If I click on like, it is not going to work because we have to save it differently. The loading works. If there's like, it is available here, but creating record doesn't work. And let's take care of this. If you're watching this, learning, and if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please pause the video right now, hit the subscribe button and continue watching. So this is the best thing what you can do right now for me to support my work. We need to go to post controller and let's search for reaction, post reaction. We're going to validate, we're going to have the reaction, and then we're going to create the reaction. We're going to provide the, that's going to be object ID. We are going to provide object type, which is going to be post class right here. We're going to provide the user ID and type. Object ID and object type. Okay, cool. Then when we select number of reactions here, we are going to query these based on object ID is this, and object type is post class. So I'm saving this and I'm going to try to place a like on the post. Hit on like, we get this error, unknown column, post ID, and we're close. Let's search for post ID. Where do we have this? Create comment. We should have it for create comment, but this is something else. This is, so this is the place where we select an existing reaction. So here we need to query that reaction based on the object ID and the type. So I will put this right here. So we're going to query the existing reaction based on the object ID and the type. If that exists, we're going to delete. If that doesn't exist, we're going to create. And finally, we're going to return count. So now if I reload and click on like, we still have this error. Object ID doesn't have a default value. Insert it to reactions. Okay, I think the object ID and object type needs to be defined in the fillable inside the reaction. Exactly. Let's change this into object ID and object type. Let's rename this, reload this, and I'm going to click like, and it worked. And if I reload the page, it stays there. Okay, so I'm going to like it, reload the page, it stays there. I'm going to hit on unlike, it was removed, reload, it stays there. So basically this is working. This is working and this is correct. I'm going to check one thing. In the reaction, we have this morph2 object. Let's call this object 2. I'm curious what will happen. unlike. So the relation actually works. This doesn't change picture. If we go in the post, we have to define the name here. So that name means how the reaction can access to parent, which in this case we don't need, but we still have to provide. Okay, good. This is correct. Now we spent so much time to just did the same thing what we already had, but right now we have this universal reactions table. We spend most of our time writing the migration to migrate data properly, which is actually very, very, very necessary on production applications. So if you're building something on production, you decide to make some global change in your project, which sometimes is necessary. You have to migrate your existing data from one format into another. Okay, this is essential. Okay, now we need to create the like for the comment. We need to go on the front-end side, in this case, post item, and we have the send comment reaction, we have comment reaction, like, and let's create the backend part, and then I can take care of this. So let's open web PHP, and we need this comment reaction. So I will duplicate this. It is going to be post request on comment UID, not the UID, but the actual ID of the comment, and then reaction. And this is going to be comment reaction. And maybe I'm thinking we should just change the names of the roles. They should probably be comment update. They should probably be comment delete. We can leave these post comment create because the URL also tells us post comment create, but we can update this. So if I copy, open this post item, search for it, I can remove this post dot from in front of it. And then we have this comment update. I can copy, search for it, and I can remove this as well. Let's scroll down below. This comment reaction, we have that. Let's what should we call the function name? Like, let's call this comment reaction. We're going to accept comment and we have this reaction, post reaction here as well. So I need to copy the content of this and modify it. First of all, I'm getting request then what am I doing is that the reaction, I'm going to validate the reaction, which needs to be, okay, this is also called post reaction enum. And I'm going to change this enum. I'm going to search for it. It is used in 4 places. Okay, so I'm going to rename it. You can just search and replace those 4 places, but I'm going to do PHP Storm's refactor, rename, and I'm going to call this reaction enum. I'm going to hit OK right there, and it's going to rename all the places where this post reaction enum was used, and now we see reaction enum everywhere. So this part is okay. Then on the reaction, we select it by comment ID and comment class. If that exists, we are going to delete. If that doesn't exist, we are going to create that, providing comment ID in the object ID and comment class in the object type. Finally, we are going to select how many reactions we have on that specific comment, and we're going to return reactions, and we're going to also return if the current user has reaction on that specific comment or not. Okay, those are these two properties which I need to define in the comment resource as well. In the same way I have defined it in the post resource. Number of reactions and number of comments, and if the current user has reaction. So I'm going to copy, actually I need to copy number of reactions and current user has reaction. So I'm going to copy 3 lines, but when I paste, I'm going to delete the middle one, number of comments. We need reactions, count, and if the current user has reaction. All right. Let's start with the number of reactions. If I open comment.php and if I open post.php, we have now these reactions, which is polymorphic relation. So I'm going to copy this part and paste here. Okay. That is good. Now in the reaction, I actually have this object here. Perfect. I think now a number of reactions should be returned correctly from this reactions count. Let me comment this current user has reaction for now. And let's reload the page and I will try to like one comment. So I'm going to click like here. Nothing happens, probably because we don't send the request. In the post item, let's scroll down below. Here we have this like, and we're going to listen to its click, and we're going to execute send comment reaction. And we should probably provide the comment on which we want the reaction to happen. So we're going to accept comment here, and we need to provide comment.id here. So I'm going to save it and click on like. The request was made, response was returned, and if we check reactions database table, we see that there's one comment right here, which is awesome. Okay, that is fantastic. If I just reload the page right now, I don't see if I have a reaction on that comment or not. What I want to check right now is inside this comment resource, if num of reactions is correct. Let's actually go in the post item, and right here for each comment, I'm going to print comment num of reactions. I don't see that, or do I? Where's this? Let's print some more characters. It should be in between, but it is not. Num of reactions. I think I need to call with count as well. So from home controller, we're selecting posts with count reactions and comments. However, can we query the comments with count, comments.reactions. I'm not sure if this will work, but let's try. Okay. Let me ask ChatGPT how I can do this. Okay. There in Laravel, I want to use with count for nested relations. So if I have, let's say, if I have posts and comments and reactions on my comments, and I want to query comments with number of reactions on that comment, how to do it? Comments with the reactions, comment with count reactions. No, I want to query posts with, okay, let me actually get my code. This is my code, what I'm doing. So this is my code. I think I can simplify it and just remove this with part. Yes, this is my code. I want to query, no, I need this with comments part. So let's replace the code. I want to query post comments with their reactions, with the reactions count. In your code, you're using with count for both reactions and comments, which will give you the count of reactions and comments for each post. If you want to retrieve comments with their reactions count specifically for each post, you can modify your query to load comments with their reactions count for each post. This is it, I think. So let's undo it. And I think right here, I need this function. With count reactions. I think I will tell thank you to ChatGPT about this. We see reactions 1 here, 0 here. Okay, so thank you, ChatGPT. I like your answer. And now I need to also check if the current user has reaction on the comment. So I need to provide with here and provide reactions. The user ID needs to be passed. So use user ID Okay, I have some syntax error here with use user ID. Now, let me explain this. So I'm queuing all the comments with the post, and for each comment, I'm queuing the number of reactions on that comment, and I'm also queuing reactions where the reaction user ID is currently authenticated user ID. Okay. Now, if I go in the comment resource and uncomment this line, these reactions count. This will give me the correct message if current user has reaction or not. And if we go in the post item and print entire comment, I can see this result right now. Let's expand this. I see number of reactions is 1 and current user has reaction is actually true. Here we see false. I think this is exactly as we had to do it. Now let me tweak it a little bit. So we have this like, so we're going to display number of likes, and I'm going to also do like unlike here. So let's do like this. Comment. So comment number of reactions is outputted. Then if the current user has reaction on the comment, we're going to do unlike in all lowercase. Otherwise, we're going to do like. Now, let's actually remove this comment. And here we go. So we see there's one like made by me. And I also need to change the background. So what I will do is just give it, let me check how am I doing. This is the class. So I can copy this class and apply here. If comment current user has reaction, like this, then we're going to have bg indigo 50, and then on hover we're going to have bg indigo 100. We can remove this on hover bg indigo 100 as well. And if there is a no reaction, then we're going to simply do on hover bg indigo 50. Now let me have a look. On mouse over we see this like, and if I already have like on the comment, then I see it like this, and I can click on it, which will do unlike. However, that was changed, but that only happened on the front-end side. If I reload the page, I can see that this still has like. So we need to take here these on the front-end side properly. So when we got the data, the current comment current user has reaction is data current user has reaction, and comment number of reactions is data num of reactions. Now we're going to hit like here and we see 1. I'm going to hit on unlike, I see 0. And just like this, we have implemented reactions on comments. Now imagine the case. We spent huge amount of time, a ridiculous amount of time on this functionality, which we already had. It would take much less time if initially we would just create the comment reactions table and just copy and paste few things. Definitely. if you are in a short time and you have to do it very fast, do it like this. I mean, do it as you can do it fast. But I'm also not also, but the main purpose is just to teach you what's going to be the best ways to do this or that things. Both of the best words, like deliver the MVP product in reasonable amount of time, and also learn the best practices how we're going to do this. Now imagine that in the future we decide to add reactions on images, on not images but on the attachment. So we have these, hold on, so we have a couple of images here, okay, and now we just open and review, but and all of them are in a single post, and we can just like that post, but we cannot react on any specific image. If we decide to do this in the future, this is an attachment, so we can easily do this, very easily. We're going to use the same reactions table, just the object ID will be the post attachment ID and the object type will be post attachment class name. And there will be like here, which means that someone liked the specific attachment. So the database is already ready for this, okay, which is very awesome. And right now we have this functionality to just like, reload, the like is there, and unlike the comments.